Adhyatma Chetas. It says, Mai Sarvani Karmani. Dedicate all your results. Sab karya mere ko arpan karo. Mai Sarvani Karmani Sannyas Adhyatma Chetas. Nirashit. Nirashit hoke or nirmamo. That means without a sense of proprietorship, you do your duty. That was in the 3rd chapter. Then you go to the 8th chapter. He says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. That means at all times, Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. मेरे को याद करते हुए क्या करो अपना कर्तव्य करो. And you dedicate my arpita mano buddhi with full surrender unto me. You offer your mind and intelligence, and by doing that, you will come to me without any doubt. And then go to the 9th chapter. He says, Yad karoshi yad asnasi, yad juhosi dadasi. That means that whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away in charity, right, you do that as an offering to me. So these are like goals you've given. But out of so many verses, the verses that actually describe a goal are very few. Most describe how we should work so that ultimately the goal will be achieved. But the focus is how to do the work. Yes, and so it is not that Krishna doesn't give a goal. ऐसा नहीं है कि चलो, you just do everything aimlessly. You know, I got up today. ठीक है, जो मन कर रहा है कर लो. कोई गोल नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं, कोई ये नहीं. तो जो जैसा मन करता है करो. Does that what Krishna said? Right. So he gives a goal, but he gives the emphasis on the process. Because unless the process is done right, just for example, you want your children to learn. Right? So what is more important? Like, if you focus on that grade, or you focus on the process of learning with the children, how you can improve the process of learning so that your kids can learn the most, right, and be attracted to what they are learning. नहीं ये टेस्ट में आएगा, इसके लिए आप प्रिपेयर करो. नहीं ये आएगा. आज की एजुकेशन में क्या होता है, पहली चीजें पूछते हैं टीचर से, मैम ये आएगा टेस्ट में, तभी पढ़ो. क्योंकि क्या है, at the end goal is marks change. This is how our system has become. It wasn't always like that, but in the last 200-300 years, our system has become so, especially in the last 100 years. And now in the last 2-3 decades, whole thing is on result. Before, during our times, 70-80% was chalega. Now you don't get 98, 99. Some of college cutoffs are like 100. So a lot of pressure on, but if you focus on learning, how to make the learning effective, how to attract your children to the subject matter, then they will become really effective learners and they become wise. Because not only they're learning to get some scores, but they're absorbing the subject. They're understanding the subject.
I think that is my fourth panel opinion, this line. This particular line.
This chitam matam uttamam. For sure, this chitam, without any doubt. Right? Matam, this is mine. Uttamam is the topmost opinion on work.
But I think this state को achieve करने के लिए That is the biggest question, right? How to see.
So how we will achieve this?
Right. So I think जब आप इतना attached होते हैं, you have to be happy with it. Otherwise,
तो ये now Krishna is going to explain.
नहीं तो क्या हो रहा है कि आप कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है या हो रहा है. जैसे हम किसी के लिए कर रहे हैं, तो we expect to get motivated from that particular.
So if you see your children becoming good learners, they are learning. Right? They're using their learning, they're sharing their learning. Won't you be happy?
I think,
like, so for example, you're teaching your child how to play the piano, for example. अब एक गोल है कि इंडिया में सबसे you want to become the best pianist in India or in the world. ये टारगेट रख दिया बच्चों के लिए. क्या करना है? क्लास करना है, एकदम कुछ बनना है जिंदगी में, कुछ करके दिखाना है दुनिया में, greatest pianist बनना है. This is one way of setting up a target for your children, motivating them. हाँ, ये करना है, ये बनना है. क्या you be famous, you earn lots of money. लोग आगे पीछे तुम्हारे दौड़ेंगे, ऑटोग्राफ लेंगे, ये करेंगे. देखो ना, look at all these stars. The other way is that they actually love playing the piano. They're not concerned right now about being the topmost pianist in the world. So if the focus is on developing love for that thing that you're doing, do you think there is a chance that this person can become a great pianist in the future? If they love the process of playing the piano.
I think both एक separate matter है. जैसे ये जो चीज है, ये attachment की बात है. So that is something about what.
So when you love playing the piano, you're not concerned कि मैं famous होगा या नहीं होगा.
From the result perspective, yes.
Yes.
I think right now this is attachment perspective.
Yes. So
but what we perform, like one is kids, and one is the we discussed work. Like we are doing it, but either it is person or it is in profession. So I think that state of being happy without anyone reciprocating or not. I think how to achieve that, because otherwise you'll always feel good or bad.
Yes, so Krishna will explain how to achieve that state. He's going to tell us
either some cause is so big.
Yeah.
That this cause becomes so small.
Yes. Yeah, you have hit the nail on the head.
अभी आपको जैसे hospital जाना है emergency, तो रास्ते में कोई आता है, don't care about it. It's because the whole idea is that is a little cause.
Attach yourself to the biggest cause. So you work for the pleasure of the highest cause. So what's the highest cause? According to the Gita, what is the highest truth?
Surrender.
Okay, you're getting close.
Krishna.
Yeah, so the highest truth is God. So when you see, Krishna says, Mata Padatanam na Anyat. There is no truth that is greater than me. Right? He's saying, he says, everything rests on me like pearls on a thread. So that's why Krishna has been saying that you work for whom? You dedicate your work to whom? Mai sarvani karmani. Ma anusmara yuddhacha.
To shift, shift.
Yeah, there's a shift.
Because what is happening currently for all journey, like we have our priorities, like either it is profession, and then there is a outcome, so to say, name, fame, money. I think that's a typical thing which every person aspires to. So वो शिफ्ट कर या हमको शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा कि राइट नो जैसे हम एक काम के अंदर 18 घंटे लगा रहे हैं, 12 घंटे लगा रहे हैं. There is a cycle which is happening, either we are growing personally, professionally, financially, what should I do? But I think that proof of pudding also needed the person is always scared. Right? अब यहाँ पे से focus हटाओगे.
If you hear the next session, next few slides, right, it will address your concern.
Because then the moment you shift the focus from here to here, because you feel that you are controlling so much, that वहाँ से focus हटेगा तो पूरा cycle.
Focus नहीं shift करना.
Right? आप देखो focus कहाँ लगाना है. Now you read the research, okay? Now I want you to pay attention to these slides. So what Krishna is saying is that you focus on the process and not the result. This is one of the key messages in the Gita. You focus on the process. Now, there is one amazing research that has been done by this scholar. And everything that he says, he's made 4 key observations. He said, focusing on outcomes can make you miserable. First, research. Okay, point. So he says, behavioral research shows that human beings have a tendency to return to their pre-success level of happiness through a process called hedonic adaptation. So what does this mean in simple language? When we are focused, जब हम result पे focus रखते हैं, right, what happens? आपको name fame चाहिए, आपको ये position चाहिए, आपको ये गाड़ी चाहिए, आपको ये घर चाहिए. So जब वो मिल जाता है, तो वो क्या होता है? Does that happiness last for a long time? How long does it last?
Just for that moment after the good achievement.
कुछ भी आप देखो, आपको लगता है ये गाड़ी होनी चाहिए. नेबर के पास ये है, इसके पास कन्वर्टेबल है, इसके पास ये स्पोर्ट्स कार है, इटालियन स्पोर्ट्स कार, हमारी भी होनी चाहिए. Everyone's trying Ferrari, ये much है, Lamborghini, कुछ this. So आप start करते हैं, चलो BMW हो जाए, 3 series, the 5 series, then you go up. So what happens is it's like drugs. Drug में क्या होता है? आप एक dose लेते हैं, you feel a high. Then what happens after some time that one dose does not work? आपको क्या करना पड़ता है? वो खुशी को experience करने के लिए आपको dose बढ़ानी पड़ती है. Dose बढ़ेगा तब आपको excitement होगा. तो चलो आप you inject twice. After some time, those 2 injections don't work. तो लगता है अरे तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. कितनी बार तो experience कर लिया है. कुछ और चाहिए. फिर dose बढ़ा. Similarly, when we focus on outcomes, we actually become miserable. Because the happiness that we feel from, say, अभी मेरे को 3 series BMW हो गई. थोड़े दिन बाद बोलता हूँ अरे मेरा नेबर तो 7 series में चल रहा है. अब क्या करें? अब ये गाड़ी अच्छी नहीं लगी. 7 series रोज दिख रही है ना.
Look at outcomes are linked to goal also. Let's say if somebody is not thinking how the others are doing, but yourself as a goal, it is also clearly possible.
Yeah, so just hear this out.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So whenever we become outcome oriented, all behavioral research shows that ultimately we will always be miserable. We'll be like this, we'll reach here, we'll come here. Again, our emotions will be like this. जब मिलेगा तो थोड़ी खुशी होगी थोड़े दिन के लिए. फिर क्या होगा? फिर ड्रॉप. क्योंकि क्या हो? वो आउटकम चेंज हो जाएगा. आज मैं मैनेजर में खुश हूं, लेकिन जब मेरे को लगे अरे मैनेजर से क्या होगा? तो भी VP की क्या बात होगा? I have to be CEO, I have to be the chairman. So you're just constantly changing your goalposts. So whatever you achieve, you're never happy. Because the goalpost keeps changing. Doesn't this happen to all of us? Whenever we become so outcome oriented, we're always dissatisfied. Now the second point he says focusing on outcomes is counterproductive. Why is this counterproductive? आप सिर्फ टारगेट पे फोकस करोगे और लर्निंग पे नहीं फोकस करोगे, so what is the chance that you will achieve the target? But if you focus on the process, then there is a good chance you will achieve the outcome. So even if you want to achieve the outcome, if you focus on the outcome, that is counterproductive. IIT में जाना ही जाना, IIT. पहले पढ़ाई में तो ध्यान दो, पहले सीखो तो सही सब्जेक्ट ठीक से, enjoy that subject. नहीं IIT जाना है क्योंकि क्या होगा, अरे बहुत बड़ा पैकेज मिलेगा. So if you just think IIT and package, it's counterproductive. It's not productive. You change the focus to learning. Physics, maths, chemistry, bio, things to सीखो. Enjoy the subject, learn. Become expert in learning the subject, explaining the subject. Then what is the chance you will get into IIT? So one of the former presidents of America, it's a quote from him, Ted Roosevelt. Right? So he says that don't remind a man at work on a political job that he may be president. अगर आप politician को बोलते हो कि आप president बन सकते हो सकता है आप president बन जाओ, क्या होगा? It almost always kills him politically, he says. क्योंकि क्या है, अब उसका फोकस होगा not to do the politics right, but president बनो. पूरा फोकस शिफ्ट हो जाता है. So he says that he loses his nerve, he can't do his work, he gives up the very traits that make him a possibility for the presidency. He becomes very careful. हर step में सोचता है, this might impact my opportunity to become the president. Whereas before he was focusing, he was not concerned about the presidency. He was focusing on how to do the politics right. So then he tells the reporter, he says, never do this to me. Did he become president? Yeah, he became the president. But he understood that if he focuses on becoming the president, then whatever he stands for today, he's going to lose. He's going to become a compromise vote. So he says, if I get into this presidency mode, I will begin to work for it. I'll be careful, calculating, cautious in every word and act, and so I'll beat myself. मैं अपने आप को ही हरा. So this is from people who have achieved a lot of success. They're saying this. This is their attitude. Then he says, outcome-focused behavior doesn't change the status quo. अब बड़े-बड़े targets बना लो. New Year's में क्या करते हैं लोग? इतना बड़ा-बड़ा वो करते हैं. I will lose 20 kgs in the next 5 months. Big targets. इस साल कर 20 मिलियन, 5 मिलियन से 20 मिलियन का धंधा होगा। But just by making big targets, can you achieve that? There's one research that shows that January में सारे gyms भर जाते हैं, लेकिन जब February March आता है ना, वो खाली होने लगते। सबने न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशन किया, ये करूंगा, फिट रहूंगा, लूज इतने केजी लूज करूंगा, लेकिन क्या होता है, 1 महीने बाद, 2 महीने बाद, 3 महीने बाद क्या होता है, आस्ता आस्ता वो बड़े टारगेट, आउटकम, at the end it doesn't change anything because there is no work on the process. So he says, when we focus on the outcome, we neglect the process. 20 kgs, 20 kgs, 20 kgs, 20 million, 20, 100 million. So Albert Einstein, he said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. It's only through a change in the process that we can alter the outcome. So process change hoga, then there is a good chance that the outcome will change. And the last thing he says an outcome-focused mind is an impatient mind. जितने लोग outcome में focus करते हैं, their nature becomes very impatient. He says that we become mesmerized by the thought of achieving fame, getting a coveted job, finding the perfect partner. So then we look for shortcuts. You know, the biggest scams are done by who? Are they done by poor people? Are they done by less intelligent people? Are they done by less influential people? The biggest scams in history are done by very influential, very educated, very, intelligent people. Why? Why is that? Because they become obsessed with the result, the outcome. Then they take shortcuts. It's not that they don't have money. The leaders of Enron, did they have any dearth of money? Did they have any dearth of influence? But because they were obsessed with the outcome-focused mind, then they compromised, they fell into the trap. Then they justify everything because they focus on the outcome. हाँ, ये नहीं करेंगे तो नहीं मिलेगा ना वो. So this is a recipe for failure. He gives the example that you see the most successful people, you know how hard they work, how much they have focused on the process. It's not that they just achieved it by having big goals and taking shortcuts. You see, he says that अगर एक फ्लावर को स्प्राउट करना है, आप उसको आर्टिफिशियली धक्का देके नहीं कर सकते आप. You have to give it the time to grow, to flourish. You have to give it the right nutrients. You have to give the water. You have to make sure the soil is right. You have to take care of it every day, protect it from the weeds. तभी जाके वो flower, blossoms. Similarly, the human being is like that. आप बच्चों को प्रेशर देके आप उनको, you cannot make them a good and successful human being. They'll never be happy, they'll always be impatient, they will have money, they will have influence, but they will always be dissatisfied. Most of the people, why do they choose certain careers? Because do they like the career? Most people, if you ask, I was talking to a doctor, right? He's our family doctor. He said this market next to that, forgot the name. Anyway, so he told me he went to a doctor's conference, and most of the doctors were so miserable in what they were doing. They hated their patients, they hated what they were doing. But why were they doing it? Outcome. They chose their careers not because they wanted to help people get better. They valued good health. Because they thought, "Hey, a doctor बनना है ना, doctor, engineer, lawyer, अब तो techie है, data scientist, and all these things. How to make $1 billion in 3 years? Have $1 billion valuation in 3 years." So a process-focused mind is a mark of anyone who has achieved anything extraordinary. Because they focused, they loved what they did. They enjoyed what they were doing. That's why they became great. The best doctors, they are the ones who actually love what they do. The best musicians are the ones who actually love what they do. The best artists are the ones that love what they do. So there's one famous coach, right? He's an American football coach, Bill Walsh. And he's written an amazing book. He said, "The sport takes care of itself, my philosophy of leadership." In which he emphasizes his team won the Super Bowl like 3 or 4 times. He's recognized as one of the most accomplished coaches. And he said that I never focused on the result. Even if my team won the game, but I saw that there are certain things they didn't do right, I would not be happy. जीत गए वो लोग, लेकिन वो खुशी नहीं दिया उन्हें, because उन्होंने देखा कि जो चीजें उन्होंने की प्लेयर्स ने वो उनको नहीं करनी चाहिए, या जो करनी चाहिए थी वो की नहीं. But the way they did it was not correct. So he would get on their case. So he focused on improving what they were doing. Sharapova, right? One of the most successful tennis players. She says the worst thing you can do is to focus on the result. She says, as a tennis player, you should focus on the ball. Keep your focus on the ball. कहाँ होना चाहिए फोकस? जीतने पे नहीं, बॉल पे. बॉल पे फोकस रखोगे तभी शॉट अच्छे से मार पाओगे. If your focus is not on the ball, how will you hit properly? How will you anticipate anything? How will you return the serve? And how many of you have heard of this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear? It's one of the best-selling books. So one thing he says in that, he says, the goal is a very small part of the whole process, setting up a goal. He says your maximum energy and focus should be on the process and the system. And this is exactly what Krishna has said throughout the Bhagavad. Krishna has been telling us how to develop the right attitude and the right habits. And you see this list, this is a small list. If you read any self-help book, you will find these same principles. Any motivation book, any success literature, same principles are there. Determination, steadiness, equanimity, right? Fearlessness, intelligence, tolerance, seeking permanent results, right? Permanence, not short-term, temporary results. Being dutiful, being detached, being self-controlled. Working as yajna, working as sacrifice, not for the result, but doing it as dedication to the Supreme Lord. Yajna, for the pleasure, Bhagwan ki prasannata ki. Purity of mind, seeing everyone as a spirit soul, not as a competitor.
So while the determination thing, one should focus or to be determined towards the process, then overlook the goal.
Yeah, so if you're determined to follow the process.
Process is what we should do.
Yes.
Should not deny the goal.
Goal will happen, eventually happen, if we are focused on these things, on the process. That's why Krishna tells Arjuna, what's the time?
12:35.
So that's why Krishna tells Arjuna that you develop these traits and you work according to these principles. Do your work according to these principles. If you form this sort of attitude and these sort of habits, more chance of being victorious or losing the battle. अगर हम ये फॉलो करते हैं, हमारा चांस जीतने का बढ़ता है या कम होता है? आपको क्या लगता है, बढ़ता है? आप इस पे फोकस करें, प्रोसेस, just like a factory है. I'm sorry, what is your Mega? Yes. So Mega Ji has a factory, and I worked in a garments factory for. I was a CEO for 10 years. We had 20,000 people. Very stressful. And when you work with all these big retailers in the world, it's like you have a sword over your head all the time. You delay your shipment, you have to air the shipment, and you lose crores of rupees. Because one order is like millions of pieces. When you work for Target and Walmart. So the pressure is always on. So if we just focus on क्या होगा, shipment होगी, नहीं होगी, what? Then we'll be like always stressed out. We'll be always impatient, we take shortcuts, quality में compromise, अरे shipment करना जल्दी, pack करो, माल भेजो. But if we focus on setting up the right systems that produce good quality, that make people more accountable, put the people in the right positions where they actually enjoy what they're doing. आपने एक accountant की जगह में, someone who doesn't like numbers, you have put one guy over there. जो क्वालिटी अच्छे से नहीं जानता है, You put one relative over there to look after quality. अपना ही आदमी है ना. Does that person like quality? Does he enjoy the process of garmenting, of making a garment? So when we focus on the process, then the shipments automatically happen. Right quality comes. Your sales increase because you're producing good quality goods. Your focus is on the product. It's not on the shipment date or the margin that you're going to make on the order. Of course, you have to keep that in mind, but you have to focus how to reduce your costs. Yes, you have to focus on the efficiency so that you reduce your costs. Then margin will automatically come. And in life, if we focus on these principles, and if we enjoy what we are doing, then we'll still be happy even if we don't get the results. Even if we don't get what people are expecting us, what people are setting the targets, because we enjoy what we're doing. I may not be the most renowned doctor, but I like being with my patients. I like what I'm doing. I may not have a big hospital, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So at the end, what matters really? Are we working for others? Who are we working for? Be miserable and be in the newspaper. अंदर से ना खुश है, लेकिन हमारा नाम फ्लैश हो रहा है. Right? We're miserable from inside. Every day we have to have something to put us to sleep. I know so many people who are famous. They come in the newspaper, but they can't sleep at night. They have money, but they're so insecure. So at the end of the day, what do we want? Why do we do whatever we do? What's the end? क्यों करते हैं? Why do we want to be in the newspaper? आपको क्या लगता है? Why? Why do we want to become famous? Why do we want to make $1 billion? To be happy.
Give them a sense of accomplishment.
Why? Why do you need a sense of accomplishment?
That's how we've wired life.
We're wired. Right? Wired by whom? Are you wired by the right sources? Who are we wired by?
Parents, society.
Huh?
Parents, society.
Yes. Parents, society, people spending trillions of dollars to market their products, market their institutions, right? Market their companies. Yes. If you don't get admission to IIT, you're a failure. Who says that? You believe that? If you don't drive a Ferrari, are you a failure? If you don't become Sachin Tendulkar, are you a failure? But they will make us believe. If you don't have a beautiful partner, are you a failure? Who said that? This is what we have been told. This is what we've been conditioned. But you see, I sent you a video right in the beginning of the course, right? It was the 3rd chapter. These are the statements of so many celebrities. They have achieved everything that everyone dreams about. And क्या बोलते हैं उन videos में? It didn't give us what we were looking for. As she said, ultimately, we want satisfaction. We want inner fulfillment. We want happiness. And they say, we didn't get it. And they got so depressed because they achieved everything they thought that would make them happy. Everything. Fame. The Beatles, was there anyone during that time that was not as famous? No one was close to being as famous as the Beatles. But you see their statements, were they happy? Michael Jackson, you see Michael Jackson's reports, miserable. So this is the conditioning that we have. We have to break through this conditioning. And to break through, Krishna says, first you need real knowledge. Not this, kitabi knowledge. जो हम पढ़ते हैं स्कूल और कॉलेज में. That is one type of technical knowledge, but it is not knowledge about life.
But I think Prabhu, उसमें दो चीजें हैं. जैसे अभी जो आप एक example है, that's very extreme. I mean, everyone is not feeling dissatisfied because you don't have Quran. I mean, that would not be the case of the largest of the people. There would be some category of people that is so obsessed by, let's say, becoming Sachin Tendulkar or whatever the model they follow. But I think the core issue is that whenever we do small accomplishments, whatever level, and we are aspiring, we set a goal. अगर हमको हमारे अंदर जो ego है वो boost होता है, sense of achievement, कहीं ना कहीं it is related when we feel good about it. So it might not be that extreme that if we are not that, then we are complete failure. I mean, that is not the issue with majority. There could be some, but yeah.
So
as you rightly said,
what happens is, yes, we may not think of Sachin Tendulkar, but we still we keep
raising the bar.
We keep raising the bar,
right?
And we are focused on that bar. Most of the time, we may be here and we've achieved this much. Right? We came so much.
Right.
But if we put our eyes over there, then what happens? What happens? Are you happy because you achieved this much? You came from 1 to 7. Okay. But you're focused on 20. So this is the problem of focusing on the outcome. This is the mentality that Krishna is trying to break. Because this way, we will be impatient, we will be miserable, we will be counterproductive. And just setting big targets is not really going to help us. This is all what research has shown. This is exactly what Krishna has been telling in the Bhagavad Gita. So now, if we have a goal that the purpose is so unique, the purpose is so pure, if we connect our activities and link our activities to that purpose, then we gain a lot of satisfaction. So we need the right knowledge. We need to act properly. We need to develop the right habits. We need to use our intelligence properly. And we need to have the right type of determination. When we have that, then the worker becomes a good worker. Krishna explains that what is the right type of knowledge to have? What do you think is the right type of knowledge to have? Should we just have technical knowledge? How to be an engineer, how to be a musician. That's one type of knowledge. Right? How to manage a company, how to be a good manager, how to be a good leader. That's one type of knowledge. But what is the fundamental knowledge that we need?
Control ourselves.
Very nice. But before we can control ourselves, we need to understand who we really are. Who we are. Where have we come from? Who's our source? So Krishna says that knowledge in the mode of goodness, it is by which we can see our spiritual nature and the spiritual nature in all living beings. That is knowledge. That is knowledge in sattva goodness. Right? And knowledge and passion is when we see different types. We say this is American, ye Indian hai, ye Marwari hai, ye hai, wo hai. Right? When we make these bodily distinctions, this is knowledge in the mode of passion. And knowledge in the mode of ignorance is basically you're so attached to one thing you can't see beyond that. You really don't care for anything else. That is knowledge in the mode of tamogun. So we need knowledge in sattva-gun. Similarly, action should be done in sattva-gun. So he says, action in sattva-gun is regulated. ऐसा नहीं कि जो मन करे वही करो, जो इच्छा करो ना. Come on, you're a free bird. You feel this impulse? Yeah, just do it. Why do you want to suppress? Why do you want to deny? The Krishna is saying, no, that is not wise. Regulate. And it should be done with detachment. And we shouldn't, there shouldn't be too much attachment, not too much aversion. Like or dislike. It should be done as a matter of duty. With no desire. So he says, afala. So he says, without desire for the results. And action in the mode of passion, how is that done? It's done with great labor, with great desire for the outcome, seeking to gratify one's own senses. How my senses will be satisfied. That is action in the mode of passion. And action in the mode of ignorance in tamogun, it is destructive, cause people harm, care, cause people harm. That is tamasic action. Similarly, intelligence, buddhi. When our buddhi is in sattva gun, we understand what is right, what is wrong. And we know what is binding and what is liberating. We know that ye mere ko isme main phas jaunga. Lekin if I do this, then I will remain free. Whereas intelligence and passion, you can't distinguish what is right, what is wrong. Because you're guided by your impulses. So whatever feels right, do it. Gives me a good feeling, it gives me a good kick, take it. But that is not intelligence in the mode of goodness. And intelligence in the mode of ignorance is basically you have no clue what is right, what is wrong. Total disregard. And similarly, determination is the same thing. Determination in the mode of goodness is steady determination. ऐसा नहीं कि आज result नहीं आया तो छोड़ दो. But we are steady because we believe in what we are doing we're doing it according to the right principles, we are patient, we do it steadily. That is determination in the mode of goodness. And there is control of the activities of the mind, senses, and life. Whereas determination in the mode of passion, तुम्हारा रिजल्ट मिल रहा है ना, और करो, रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, छोड़ो, बेकार, leave it. It's just guided by the result. अगर result नहीं मिलता है, you become totally hopeless. And determination in the mode of ignorance, in tamogun, is just you just keep dreaming. You're just a dreamer. Just sapne lete rahe. So when we have the right knowledge, when we develop the right type of action, when we use our intelligence in the right way, we have steady determination, then we become the right type of worker. And the right type of worker is detached. They don't have ahankar, they're devoid of false ego, right? They're enthusiastic, they do things because they love to do it. They treat their patients with care because they like the process of healing. They like the process of seeing people healthy. They are not attached कि हाँ उसके बाद में 2000 का बिल बनेगा. So this is the secret of working. And this is collaborated by all research. If you do a search on Google, right, working without attachment to results, you'll find so many articles. Why we should be focused on the process? You do a search in Google and see how many articles come. And Krishna has emphasized this throughout the Bhagavad. So if we can get this one concept, then what happens is, this is what we experience. Krishna says, depending on your type of work, your intelligence, your knowledge, we experience 3 kinds of happiness. So happiness in the mode of goodness in Sattva Gun, it appears like poison in the beginning. लगता है यार बहुत मुश्किल है, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है. But it is amrit in the end. It is nectar in the end. And it is generated by pure intellect that is situated in self-knowledge. 18.37. This is permanent happiness. So if we learn how to work properly, without attachment to our results, then we will experience this type of happiness. If we work with attachment to the results, then we will experience the second type of happiness. Happiness is said to be in the mode of passion. This is Rajoguna happiness, which is like nectar in the beginning. Oh, acha lagta hai. Wow. You get a big kick, and bigger the kick, the bigger the fall. Right? Becomes poison in the end. And it comes from just letting the senses go freely. Jo man karta hai karo, jo, if it feels good, you do it. Right? And this happiness is nectar in the beginning and poison in the end. And happiness in the mode of ignorance is that happiness that covers our nature, our knowledge from the beginning to the end, right? Happiness gotten from sleep, drugs, intoxication. This is happiness in the mode of ignorance. लोग जो बहुत ज़्यादा सोते हैं, full on drugs. So what kind of happiness is this? So this is the outcome. जैसे आपने कहा, we are looking for happiness. So this is the happiness you will get depending on the input, depending on the process that you follow. This is the outcome. And this is exactly what modern research has been telling us. Remember, the first thing he says, focusing on outcome makes us miserable. Okay. Exactly what Gita is saying. Focusing on outcome makes us miserable. So we have covered half the chapter. And half the chapter will be covered in the next session. So I hope if you can just take away this, that to focus on the process, to link the process to the ultimate cause of everything, the ultimate truth. Ultimately, who are we working for? Who are we trying to please? And because God includes all the principles that are good for everyone, not just ourselves. So when we please, when we work for the pleasure of God, we actually please everyone. It's like watering the root of the tree. When we water the root, then everyone, all the parts of the tree get nourished. So when we follow all these principles that I've shared, that Krishna shared in the Gita, if we follow these principles, then whether we achieve the outcome or not, we will always be satisfied and happy, and we will do good for ourselves and we will do good for society. Because we are focused on doing the right things, not on the outcome. And we are focused, our cause, our process is linked to the ultimate cause of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam. This is the real secret of work and being happy in this world. And if you apply these principles, your relationships will be better. The outcome will happen. Now, the outcome is not guaranteed. At what level? Will you become world famous? Or will you become, the number one? Krishna doesn't talk about all this. He says definitely your outcome will happen. So if you can imbibe these principles, and these are timeless principles. Today these are relevant, they will be relevant, they were relevant when Krishna spoke to. If you see all the authors, they're writing only on this stuff. This is giving it a different take, but essentially the principles are the same. You read James Clear, you read Stephen Covey, you read any, what's the name who wrote The Secret? What's the author's name? Huh? The Secret. That's also one of the best-selling books of my life. Yes. So, same principles. You take any book. Someone emphasizes 4, someone emphasizes 5, someone says 7. 7 habits, I taught 7 habits for many years to all our employees. And I was surprised that you can find a shloka for every habit in the Bhagavad Gita. The only difference is Bhagavad Gita is linked to the highest cause. The process is to samsiddhi haritosha, to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And all these other books, how to become more successful in this world. So Krishna is not telling us not only to be successful in this world, but even the world beyond. Setting up success for even future lifetimes, for eternity. So now we will have to choose what type of happiness we want to experience in this world. We want to experience sustained happiness, or we want to ride the waves, or be totally miserable in the mode of ignorance. And according to that, then we have to follow the process. So thank you all very much for hearing so patiently. आपके पीछे से आगे आ गए. So now it is your time to share and ask any questions.